Hey guys, and welcome to Craft Classy. Today I'm participating in the Thrift Flip Road Trip. It is hosted by Unicorn Desk Designs, Crafting Cousins, and the guest host is CJ DIY. The link to the playlist is in the description box of this video. There is also a giveaway associated with this playlist, and I'll have more details about that later in the video. But for now, let's get to crafting. I was at a thrift shop the other week and I saw across the room this Cathedral style radio. I knew immediately that it, wasn't, of course, an original from the 30s Cathedral radio. And I thought to myself, I think that's from the 90s, a reproduction from the 90s. It just had that vibe. And sure enough, on the back, there's a sticker that said it was manufactured in 98. I didn't know if it worked, and the antenna had been cut, I noticed on the back. And so she gave it to me for $5. I actually thought that was a little bit high because I had no idea if it worked or not, and the antenna being cut. But she gave me such a good deal on the other items that I just didn't want to, haggle over it because I was already getting a really good deal with my purchases. And so I decided it does work. It works okay as a radio, and but I wanted to check inside and see if it had enough room to put a Bluetooth speaker, and it did. And so here I am just using the inside bracing and going to create a little shelf to set the Bluetooth speaker on. I used tumbling tower blocks and some jumbo, or it might be giant, craft sticks to create this using wood glue because I want it to be very sturdy inside, and I just wanted to make sure the shelf wouldn't touch any of the other inside components. Still want to be able to use this as a radio if I wanted to. The knobs were plastic, as well as the little tuning decorative piece on the front that's surrounding the tuning thing. And I liked the fabric. I knew I was going to leave it alone. It looks fine. But this sort of yellowy, orangey color, I just didn't like it. And I didn't like how shiny everything was. So I did want to give it a new finish. I did check inside to make sure that there was enough room for the little Bluetooth speaker that I have. And I'm going to have to get another Bluetooth speaker because I used this one in my craft room. I made another speaker cover in another video, and I wanted to use this one in my kitchen, and so I'm going to have to buy another little Bluetooth speaker. I think you can get them, online for like $20, so I'll be keeping my eye out for one of those. I wanted to have the option of having both the cords coming out the back. There was already one hole for the original cord to come out, and I went ahead and used my Crocodile Big Bite to make another hole for the Bluetooth speaker's cord. This is my first time using citrus strip. It's more of a natural product and it's approved for indoor use. I usually use regular paint stripper in an aerosol can, but it was about 95 degrees this day outside, and I thought this would be a good chance to try out this citrus strip. And I did use the longer sort of instructions where you let it sit on there by covering it with plastic wrap. And it did okay. I mean, it did take off the shine. It didn't do as good as the real stuff that, the stuff that singes your nose hairs and you want lots of ventilation. You want to do it outdoors. It didn't do as good as regular stripper, but it did, get it started for me. I sanded it some, and I also, because on the front there was such small sort of details to sand, I went ahead and made some homemade little sanding blocks using some tumbling tower blocks and just wood glued that sandpaper onto the ends there so that I could use it as tiny little sanders to get inside all the little spaces that I had to sand. I got most of the finish off. After a while, I don't know if you get the same way, but just depending on the project, I started to not care so much. And so at this point, I did not want to sand anymore. And I thought, I'm just going to go ahead with the antique wax. I would have painted it originally. I thought it'd be pretty painted green. I've never seen a cathedral radio painted. They're always wood. But I went ahead and used antique wax, and I thought, if the splotchiness comes through where I did not remove all of the finish, then I would just paint it. I would just seal in the wax and then paint over everything. But I did end up liking it. I had in the back of my head that a little bit of splotchiness would be okay because I want it to look old and worn, and it's okay for the finish to be uneven. I did go over the areas with ink, chalk paint, and I did go over the knobs and the little metal, well, it's not metal, that's plastic. Both of those elements that were supposed to look like metal were plastic, and I wanted to make them look even more, like metal. And so I went ahead and refinished those as well, first with black chalk paint, and then going over that with European gold rub and buff. The difference in this clock isn't huge. It still, looks similar to what it did before, but it looks different enough to where it doesn't scream that it's a 90s reproduction. You sort of look at it twice and you think, is that a real cathedral radio? And so that's what I was going for. I just wanted it to look older and not so cheap. And I think that I accomplished that. Echo, play. This is just a quick reminder that if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss any future videos. I have some of these old thread spools that I got from a yard sale, and I keep them in this old jar, and it's really pretty like that, but I wanted to do something with some of them. And so I chose a few of them that don't have the old stickers, the old labels on them, and I'm going to make some picture holders. I've got this Dremel style tool from Harbor Freight, and I'm going to just make a channel on the top here. I made a line with a ruler and a pencil, and I just wanted to make an indent to where the saw has a channel to run on, so it's not slipping around on the top of the spool. And so that makes it a little bit safer if you do that first. And I wish I had a better clamp system, but I was just wanting to get this done. And so I clamped it. And then as soon as it felt, pretty secure, I went ahead and just going in one direction over and over. That just felt safer, trying to keep my hand out of the path of the saw there. I went ahead and just cut down just a little bit, just enough to hold these pictures. Could stain the spools and decorate them up like this one that I did for another project, but I really liked the finish on these. They look old, and I think they're really cute for holding some photos. I did see this idea on Pinterest. It was just a photo. It didn't have a link to it, but I thought, it looked very easy, and it was. Now here are those details for the Thrift Flip Road Trip giveaway.
Welcome to the Thrift Flip Road Trip. In today's video, we are participating in an open challenge hosted by Unicorn Dust Designs, Crafting Cousins, and special guest host CJ DIY. Here, talented creators breathe new life into old items. But wait, there's more. We are thrilled to announce that this month's playlist will have a special giveaway with 5 lucky winners. Prizes include a deluxe easy bow maker from Buckeye Girls Lifestyle, a craft tool kit from Lady Red Crafting, a mystery box with crafting supplies from DIY Next Door, and 2 wood craft kits from Crafting Cousins. To enter, Just watch the July Thrift Flip Road Trip playlist and comment your favorite project from each creator on their video. You must comment on every video to be eligible. Mark your calendar for July 27th when we will announce the winners on our community tabs. I'm sorry, due to shipping costs, giveaway is open to U.S. residents only. Don't miss out on this chance to win, and be sure to spread the love by following the playlist link in the description box below.
I got this, what is it called? Embroidery hoop. I lost the name for a minute. My brain just collapsed, I guess. I got it for $1 at a thrift shop. And I have some old painting drop cloth, canvas drop cloth here that I've used before for painting. I love using drop cloth because it just has two different purposes. I use them when I paint things, and then I also craft with them. But I just cut out a rectangle. I made a bag essentially and just decided how big I wanted the bag. And I just glued, made sure that there were three sides glued attached to itself, and then leaving an opening at the top. Now I actually saw this tutorial on the Graphics Fairy, and it's using freezer paper. Freezer paper has a plastic coating on one side, and you want to print on the plastic coating side your design, and you want to print the design backwards, so you want to flip it horizontally. And so then you iron it, you turn it face down onto your fabric, you iron it, and then you want to rub it with a craft stick or something like that. Now I did this once and it was too light. The design was too light, but it was okay. I had two sides of the bag, and I thought I'm going to try it again because the tutorial, it turned out better on theirs. And so I thought this was the only thing I didn't do quite to the tutorial's instructions, was that I didn't lay it on a hard surface. I just rubbed it down with the craft stick on my ironing board. And so what I did is I took a piece of wood and put it inside of the bag so I had a hard surface, and that did the trick. So you want to make sure your fabric's laying on a hard surface and you rub it really well with that craft stick or the item that you're using. Now it did say that this is not going to be washable, so I think if I wash this in the washing machine, it would probably just come off. So you don't want this, to do this on something that's going to need to be washed. What I'm using this bag for is my shopping bags, my plastic shopping bags. I don't like what I keep them in right now. It's like a wire basket hanging up on the wall, and it scratches the wall. It makes marks on the wall. And so this is working out really well for that purpose. I just took the embroidery hoop and just sort of wrestled with it to get it inside of that, and get the bag inside of the embroidery hoop, and then tighten that up as tight as I could get it. And this way, with a top like this, it'll just stay open, and it'll be easy to put grocery bags in there and to get some out whenever I need them. You could also glue the bag once you get it wrapped around the inner ring. You could glue it to that inner ring, and then even put some glue on it before you put the outer ring on there. But it's holding up well. I haven't had any trouble with the bag slipping out of the embroidery hoop. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out that playlist. The link is in the description box. Go see what all the other crafters thrifted and flipped. I want to thank the host of this playlist. This is my first time joining in on this one, and I appreciate them letting me jump in last minute and participate. I hope you all have a wonderful day. See you in the next one.